Hail adventurers, welcome back to the Wyvern's Lair. I am DM Wyvern here with more Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. In our last episode, we managed to escape the maze. We helped Wendog, sided with her over land as far as the battle for the Vongos were concerned, and we've arrived after a traumatic battle with demons, the Great Garrison, and the Defenders Inn. And we've been given a message to assist the brave people of Canabris fight off the demonic horde. So that's currently where we're at. This is the stage that we're set. We already took care of the personal chest, I think, in the last episode. And now we can explore the inn for the very first time. Oh, an Avia. Hey, wait. Mind if I bend your ear about something? Navia's outside your door, leaning casually against a shelf. So here's the first and most important thing. Beth gave you a crucial mission. I get that, and I know you got. Excuse me, and I know you'll get the job done. I saw you in action. But here's the rub: by sending you out on an errand, we're weakening our defenses here. If they come at us while you're gone, I don't know if we'll be able to fight them off. When do you think the demons will attack next? Your guess is as good as mine. It might not be here. They could attack the whole damn city. Those vermin, they know they lost the upper hand, and we're going to push back hard. If things kick off here, you should know, after they attack, some things could be changed beyond recognition. So if you've got any business that needs to be taken care of, you better do it soon. Huh. Do you want me to stay here and guard the tavern? You what? No, your task is far too important. You can't just hole up here all cozy like, waiting for the demons to knock on the door. We need to take the fight to them. But if those freaks try to make a move on this place, Beth will send a runner to get you. If that happens, you leg it back here, alright? Because if you don't, you'll be coming back to an ash pile. Got it? Alright. Everything seems clear so far. What else do you wish to discuss? So, the rift that damn beetle left with its scythe, well, it cut the city into two, and it's kind of difficult to get across. My scouts tell me there's a halfway decent place to set up a crossing in Market Square. Not that anyone tried it to make sure. But if you've got a mind to go across, I think we're going to have... Sorry. But if you've got a mind to go across, and I think you're going to have to eventually, you might want to give the square a once-over. Thank you for the warning. See you later. Bye, that's it. See you later. Watch yourself out there. Oh, hey, we got Morn in the chat. Alright, Morn is saying either the game is slightly too loud or your mic audio is slightly too quiet. Is this a little better for you, Morn? Let me go ahead and turn down the sound. And good to see you, Morn. I'm glad you could join us this time. We'll bring it down to 50%. Apply. There we go. And yeah, let me know how how I'm coming across now.
This way.
Let me know if I'm still too quiet for you. How much longer can we hold out? A day or two? Camilla. Camilla looks over you pensively, toying with the snake-shaped bone amulet that dangles from her pale neck. Noticing your glance, she flashes you a cold, barely there smile. Greetings. It seems for a moment that the girl wants to say something else, but the pause grows too long, and she slips back into cautious silence. Oh, good. I'm glad you can hear me a lot better, Morn. Tell me about yourself. Camilla. You want to know more about me than you already do? Why? Camilla arches a dainty brow. I talk to spirits of this tormented land, and they guide me in battle. I'll help you fight the demons, and I swear that you can rely on me in this matter. Isn't that sufficient? Where did you learn to wield a rapier so well? Camilla. I had good teachers, although they don't get all the credit. I'm a most diligent student. Camilla licks her parched lips. Your amulet is quite unusual. Where did you get it? Camilla. Ah, my little trinket. It's so nice of you to notice, but I assure you, this amulet is nothing but a bauble. Can a lady not be drawn to beautiful, useless things? And Morn, hey buddy, it's great to see you in the stream. I know it's been a while since I've been providing content to my channel, so I'm glad you stuck around and decided to drop on by to see the latest shenanigans that I'm getting up to over here. Camilla says, anyway, as much as I enjoy our delightful conversations, the spirits are calling me, and I must respond. Please excuse me. Camilla turns away, watching out of the corner of her eye. Huh. Alright, that is Camilla. Let's get some gold from Horgus Worm. Here, take this. Yes, it's 2,000 coins. Take your payment, and remember that Horgus Worm always keeps his word. You helped me get back to the surface, and I duly paid you for escorting me. Now, speaking of our future cooperation, Horgus looks at you with an unvarnished disapproval, his arms folded across his chest, his foot tapping impatiently. I have a job to be perfect for someone like you. Naturally, I'll pay generously for your services. What do you mean a job for someone like me? For an adventurer ready to sell their soul for booze and then lie down drunk in the gutter. Or do you think you're somehow different? A traveling knight, perhaps? Noble of heart, but without a coin to your name? Horgus sizes you up critically, then sighs and shrugs. You seem a reliable enough ally to me, and you did get me out of those Mongol caves. So why should I care what you do with my money once you've got it? Okay, we succeeded at a perception check. Horgus seems like one of those people who think the entire world owes them something. However, you hear notes of hysteria beneath his smug arrogance. It's as though he's really quite nervous, but taking great pains to conceal it. Morn says, always glad to be here. Always glad to have you here, Morn. Same, right back at you. Okay, what kind of reward are we talking about? Let's see. Horgus Worm. 1,000 gold coins. Horgus replies without hesitation. Double the reward and I'll think about it. Oh my god, I got it. I did it. Oh. Several tense moments pass in silence. Then Horgus's face relaxes. Deal. Alright, so what does this job entail? Horgus Worm. You shall be my bodyguard. You see, I have good reason to return to my mansion here in Canabris. I still have... Well, it doesn't matter. It's none of your business. My mansion is a breathtaking building with a large garden in the wealthy part of the city. Even before the demons attacked, every thief and fraudster in the city had tried to get inside one way or another. I shudder to imagine the state it's in now. I have little hope that my guards were able to hold the mansion during the attack, and I expect the servants fled when they saw the demons. Only Adabar knows what's happened there since. Therefore, I would ask that you meet me in my mansion and guard me there until I complete my business. Horgus Worm. I already asked the local paladins for help, but they've no desire to set foot outside this tavern. Damn cowards and traitors. That's what they are. Horgus Worm. Also, please do take Camilla with you. I trust that girl more than the rest of your gang. She is of noble birth, after all. Alright, deal. Horgus Worm. Marvelous. Most excellent. Horgus's face relaxes, smoothing a few of the tense lines. I'll proceed to my mansion at once and wait for you there. Meanwhile, you needn't worry. I know the city like the back of my hand. But do hurry, unless you want me to lower your reward. Worm's mansion has been revealed. Excellent. Crusader. What if Canabris isn't the only city overrun? What if this is how it all ends? We got Gwelm Hawkus. Talk to him. A strange figure towers of the bar, a huge ungainly man with skin so milky white that his blue veins are visible even from a distance. His bald head is equal parts lumpy and pitted, and blood-filled eyes stare impassively at you from beneath his pale brows. The glass in the albino's large, clumsy hands looks dangerously delicate, as if one twitch of those callous fingers would be enough to crush it. A gold medallion engraved with a tankard gleams around his neck. What'll it be? The medallion you're wearing. That's a symbol, a sacred symbol, isn't it? Are you a cleric of Kaiden Kalen? I am a tavern keeper, best in the city. The best the best there's ever been, and I pray to the best god there is. Who are you? The albino slowly takes your measure with his red eyes, and finally, with a gentle sigh, says, Gelm Hawkes, vampire. Vampire, is it? Then pour me a glass of whatever you serve our kind here. Gemmel coolly brings out something from under the counter, a flask of cloudy liquid. Here, fresh elf-maiden blood, only for our kind. Oh, wow. How did you end up at the Crusader City? How did anyone end up here? How did you, or them? With a huge hand, the tavern keeper gestures at the ragtag group assembled in the room. The world is big, but there still isn't a place for everyone. People who no longer have a life elsewhere, they end up here. Any news in the city? The albino looks around. There are demons everywhere, and you showed up. Are there any places in the city worth visiting? If you mean places that normal people usually stay well away from, then there are plenty, like the Pataxian wine cellar. Gemmel pauses for effect. Like the name of the place alone should make you quiver in fear. It once belonged to a Pataxian trading house. Then King Aurovete came to power in Pitax, and the property started changing hands. Soon after, the seller's shop assistant was found in a ditch. Not all of him, mind you, just his head. Numerian gangsters had taken up possession of the place. They wanted to sell something stronger than wine on the street, and they ended up on the gallows. Then King Aurovete's numbers was up. So now the store stands empty and unclaimed. People say that a headless ghost wanders the place at night, moaning ghoulishly. Ooh. Pitax. Pitax's origins lie with brigands from their neighbors to the north, Barobi, which sought sanctuary amid the forests of the River Kingdom. A band of vicious thieves made a hideout in a riverside hamlet known as Pitax. As they visited there year after year, the ill-gotten gold slowly transformed Pitax into something considerably larger than a simple, sleepy fishing village. Eventually, the bandits settled in Pitax permanently, building walls around the village, hiring sellswords to help defend against their enemies, and crowning themselves kings of a newfound realm. With this, Pitax became a permanent fixture of the river kingdoms, able to survive and thrive for nearly 4 centuries, while others around it withered and decayed. And Numerian. Once a rising power poised to unite its neighbors under its banner, Numeria's leadership has fallen into decay. Here, savagery and science exist side by side. Amid the wreckage of a crashed starship from a distant world, technomancers from across Galarian flock to research and exploit the technological wonders found within the otherworldly ruins. Meanwhile, tribes of primitive barbarians cling to age-old tradition and eschew technology in favor of their own raw skill and martial prowess. This is a nation where, under the auspices of technological advancement and the betterment of civilization, a select few rule a subjugated nation as despots and tyrants, placing their own power and continued reign above the well-being of their citizens. Alright, Gemmel Hawkes. After coming to the end of the story, unusually long by his standards, the tavern keeper takes a swig from his tankard. Just don't ask me how he makes any noise with no head. I wasn't there. I just tell it like I heard it. Show me what you have. Okay, he's got lots of potions. Lots of potions. Loves the neophyte.
This is where I do a drive-by hi.
Hey! Is that TJ?
It is.
Oh my goodness.
Interrupt your monologue.
Oh my goodness, TJ, so good to hear your voice. How is everything out there for you in beautiful Canada these days?
It's getting better. The new schedule has been trying, is the best way to put it. Just way too many changes all at once. So it's been difficult. I work 3 out of 4 weeks I'm not at home, and the wife's schedule means our days off don't even line up that way.
Oh
so
my goodness. Oh my goodness.
It's been a long 6 months for that, but we're getting there.
Good. I'm glad. And the move went well. You guys are comfortably settled in the house, even though you're on the move quite a bit.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad. How's things going as far as gaming is concerned? What is how are you able to get to some entertainment with your work schedule?
Uh, Play a little bit of Call of Duty at the moment, normally, just because
Gotcha.
I
You
need
should
to.
drop in.
Yeah, pretty much, it's I need to shoot something that's not work related.
Right, yeah.
My closest friend Sean plays too, so we do that a lot.
Nice.
I kickstarted the Wrath of the Righteous, so that's why I'm like just seeing where you're at versus where I'm at.
Oh, cool. So you're also playing Wrath of the Righteous on your
Yeah.
end too. Very nice.
Yeah.
I've been thoroughly enjoying it. I haven't gotten to obviously I've just begun the game,
Yeah.
but I really enjoyed Kingmaker. I didn't actually end up completing it, but I've been looking forward to Wrath of the Righteous, and I like the whole Owlcat story. I found very inspiring. The small little Russian game developer that came out with a promising but flawed sort of like inaugural game.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of potential in Kingmaker, and the fact that
The mods that really helped. Like I created mods. I worked with mods, debugging the original one.
Yeah, so the fact that they open it up to modders like yourself, and the fact that they never gave up patching the game, I thought was so wise on their part. And what I really liked is like they decided they're going to work on Wrath of the Righteous, but rather than reinvent the wheel, rather than create a whole new engine, they said they're going to perfect the Kingmaker engine and apply it to Wrath of the Righteous, which I thought was a brilliant idea on their part.
I agree.
Yeah.
I use it for many things. I have used the start of Kingmaker to start my own campaign, sort of thing.
Oh, very cool.
Is
no
a
way.
good way to just integrate, to get NPCs and PCs together. Like, why would you be here?
Oh, interesting.
So I used it as in you were just, stopping at a room or an inn, and then the inn is attacked. What do your characters do?
Oh, interesting. So you mean like you actually you use the location as a backdrop for the pen and paper games that you're running?
Yeah, because since you can mod it and everything, I found out you could actually take a lot of those maps and put them in Fantasy Grounds or Roll20.
Oh, that's brilliant. Oh, that's brilliant. So you can actually print them out as screenshots essentially, and then or images. Very, very cool.
Oh, yeah.
Can I ask what character you're playing in Wrath?
That is a good question in this one. I have played the Paladin. I am more of a righteous holy warrior in this one at the moment.
Oh, you and I are polar opposites as far as alignment is concerned. I'm playing I don't know how to pronounce this. Choromancer? Is that the way you pronounce it? I don't know.
I haven't looked enough. I have tried to stay away from going way into it so I can just enjoy the multiple replays, because I really liked Kingmaker for that.
Dude, it like the amount of diversity you have as far as the kind of characters you can build, satisfying. So satisfying.
Sometimes you just have to play.
Yeah, I hear you.
That's my problem. It's like, I'm making a character. Oh, this would be cool to make. So I think I have, I'd say conservatively, 50 started games in Kingmaker.
I don't blame you. Like, when I first logged into Wrath of the Righteous, I was like, there was just so much choice for me. I didn't know what to do for 2 hours. I was like, what character am I creating? What do I do? I don't want to make the wrong choices. Then I was like, you know what? I'm asking
everything
the wrong
is the
questions.
right or wrong choice.
Correct.
So just play one. I went with the which picture looked awesome, and then what do I think that character is.
Right.
I just it was a fun way to go on that. Still tried to play in John's campaign over the summer. I got together a couple times.
Oh yeah, how's John doing?
He is, I think, seeing his parents. I'm trying to think right now, or his dad, trying to help them out.
Okay.
There's some medical issues there, I believe.
Good guy. Love John.
He is took a step back from running so many campaigns. It was 5 or 6 nights a week he was booked.
Yeah, I kind of
health purposes, and narrowed it down to 3 times, maybe total a week. More like it's 4 times every 2 weeks. And ours just happened to be one of those lovely campaigns that sticked on. He enjoyed playing it.
You know,
I was quite happy because I leveled finally.
I do want to get back to the adventures of Hanzo the Half-Orc. You know, the issue that I had with my campaign was the fact that I felt the prep felt, for me, very much like work, like it's in work. Do you get what I'm saying?
Oh, yes.
And so, for me, I mean, it was like an additional stress in my life, you know, getting ready, prepping the adventure, getting ready to run the table. And I want to get back to I want to reapproach the campaign and restart it, not relaunch it, but in a way that I don't find it as work. You know, I need to find how to do that for myself, I think.
I have learned that I prep some major things, and I've now learned I will steal and reuse whatever small adventure someone else has used.
Yeah.
And I have learned that if I have a plan and hey, this is where I think the group's going to go, and they don't, you can take said map and turn it upside down. They're going to do this map. They just don't know they're going to do it now.
Let me
and wing it. I have learned just to prep for a whole lot of random bad guys that I can just put together and see where it goes role playing wise organically. I've learned is the best thing I have come up with.
So don't over prep. Probably a good suggestion. Let me read this little bit of dialogue over here.
Dungeons. Yeah. Go ahead.
Thorn Autumn Haze. A tall, fragile-looking elf sits in front of you, eyes closed. He is pale as a ghost, his arm wrapped in a blood-stained bandage. You spot other bandages on his body under his clothes, but even in such a miserable state, he manages to keep calm. Thorn, raising his eyes to meet you, he says faintly, "I am Thorn Autumn Haze, at your service." His pale lips are reddened by blood, but you see no signs of pain or fear in his gray eyes. Who are you? My name is Thorn Autumn Haze. I've heard that the second time right now. I've come here from Koinen because I'm a hunter, and all minions of evil are my quarry. I won't say any more than that, if you don't mind. We're strangers, and of different races and cultures. I'd rather not tell you more than is necessary. Koinen, the homeland of the elven race on Golarion. Koinen was almost completely evacuated by the elves just before the fall of the Starstone. They only recently, by elven standards, returned to Golarion to reclaim their ancient homeland and have become an isolationist realm, allowing few non-elven visitors into their mist-shroud capital, Idara. Who wounded you? A sinner and accomplice to demons, the quarry I am hunting in this unhospitable place. Do you need help? After giving you a cold, intense look, he shakes his head. Do not trouble yourself on my behalf. A local healer tended to me. Besides, I come from resilient, hardy folk. My body will endure both the wounds and the poison delivered to them. All right. I am DM Wyvern. You can trust me. I might be able to help you. After a brief pause, Thorn says, "It'd be impolite to refuse such a direct and friendly offer. Who is your quarry here in Mendev?" I was hunting a fugitive, a Deskerite by the name of Kalisa. It pains me to admit that there are heinous malefactors such as her among my noble kind. I managed to catch up to her in Canabras, and I wounded her. Then demons appeared, and the city was engulfed in flames. I was injured in the battle that ensued and couldn't free her soul from its service to her dark masters. He expresses no anger or hatred as he speaks, only compassionate sorrow. You're not that great of a hunter, it would seem. His expression remains indifferent, but his voice is as cold as a mountain stream. Many underestimate the wisdom and experience that my people acquire over the centuries. I do hope that my opponent will misjudge me as you have. Alright, I wish to aid you in your hunt. Thorn covers his eyes wearily. I thank you, but this is my mission, and I'm used to facing all manner of terrors on my own. I do appreciate your willingness to help. Even if you happen to meet Kalisa, take caution. If you happen, sorry. She has turned many innocent souls to the path of evil, and darkness has rewarded her with many gifts. Her appearance alone will tell you that. It's warped, an agate skin, and malicious stare of her blood-red eyes, the bestial teeth. She's more monster than elf at this point. Knowledge. What does this Kalisa look like again? Succeeded. Her skin is dark, her hair preternaturally white, her eyes red, can see perfectly in the dark, which to my dismay I've come to know from experience. But bright light causes her kind pain. I used an alchemical powder that explodes in a dazzling flash, and she cried out as if I had stabbed her. Sounds like a vampire. It appears that this woman is a drow, and her race is also known as dark or cavern elves. They are rarely seen on the surface, so it's surprising to encounter her here. Okay, I'd like to know more about you. I won't hold anything back, not who I am, why I made my way here, or what it is that I'm pursuing. Tell me more about yourself. Other people tend to believe that identity is the sum of a person's actions in the events that happen to them. For them, I am one of a long line of warriors of Koinen, I don't know, who since his youth has dedicated himself to hunting evil and injustice. For them, I am a successful and capable huntsman who has tracked down and slain a great many monsters. But I am an elf, and for me, my identity has a different meaning. It is shaped by the place where I was born, and that I love so deeply. I am shaped by what I find beautiful and what makes my heart quicken, by the fears that come to me in the dead of night, by the things I find so intolerable that the sight of them my very core darkens and fills with poison. Thus, to tell you who I am, I have required many days and much candor, which is more than you and I have at our disposal. Why did you choose to be a hunter of evil? Because I am the son of a noble and proud nation. We are sometimes criticized for our arrogance, but no one dares doubt our honor. When a crime is committed, we cannot turn a blind eye. If we were to abandon our obligation to oppose evil, if we were to surrender this obligation to other races, we would also relinquish our preeminence. Alright, I have no more questions for you. Perception 20, I think Calissa might be a drow. Failed! A drow? Unlikely. It's more plausible that her dark service left a brand similar to the one that twisted the entire cursed drow race. Coincidence, I would think. I have to go. Good fortune to you. TJ, you still there?
Trail me.
I'm still here.
I was going to say that you should add me up on Steam. Are we connected on Steam? Or GOG? Whichever.
Probably would be Steam since I don't do GOG, but
Yeah,
I'm
find
gonna
me on,
guess no.
find me on GOG and I'll check to see if we got any of those quick co-op games that we share in our library. And if we do, whether it's Call of Duty or something else, then we can catch up when you're not at work and we can hang out and stuff.
Definitely do that.
Just drop me your Steam code or whatever in direct message, and I'll look you up after this live stream session.
Sounds good.
Yeah, because you're a friend. We got to hang out and do things together.
That's
Yeah,
right
I'm
for me
in,
there, I wonder.
Oh,
Just trying to catch up with everybody again.
I hear you. We got a cutscene. Surrender thy soul, Delvin. Mayday, protect us. Ha ha ha! Got you again. How many times is that today? Take your jokes and shove them, tiefling. Ah. Whoa, easy there, Chief. Don't hit me. Oh, this sounds like we got a new character here. How much longer can we hold out? Day 2. Alright, these guys all give the same bark. Go ahead and don't take too long, though. We got loot. I love the fact that you can't really steal anything in this game. This is all up for grabs. Like, you just rob right in front of someone. They're like, yeah, go ahead and take our stuff. No problem.
I hear the next, I guess, version of this game is supposed to be somewhat multiplayer, small group.
Ooh.
Like you do groups of 4.
Oh, that would be brilliant.
And just kind of a more open world, but private. So each server, one person would host and save it. They're just trying to figure it out because it'll be it's big.
Oh,
As they call it.
That'd be epic.
Yeah.
Let's talk to Woljif.
Hey, Chief. Hey, Dreamboat, come over here. I want to talk to you about something. Something really important.
The young tiefling sits cross-legged on the floor. He looks relatively calm for someone in shackles, but his tail whips back and forth in agitation. Noticing your attention, the tiefling sits up and beckons you over.
Quit bothering the decent people in here, Woljif, or I'll knock your teeth out.
What's it to you, Delvin Dum-Dum? You were told to guard me, and I'm not stopping you. But no one told me I had to shut my trap.
Who are you?
Woljif. Woljif Jeffdo. I deal in useful things. I can get you whatever you want. Anything. But there's just one problem.
The thief rattles the chains and gives you a meaningful look. Why are you in chains?
Does it really matter? Don't get hung up on the past, Chief. Don't look to the future. Live in the here and now.
He was caught thieving.
Your shadow, what was that?
Get me out of here and I'll tell you. And don't worry, it's not contagious.
What do you want from me?
I'll lay it out for you. Simple job, 30 minutes tops. We go someplace, talk to someone, and in return, whatever you want, I'll get it for you. Some extra rations? No problem. Armor, weapons, scrolls, you name it. It's as good as yours. If you need my help with something, whistle and I'll be there. I'm handy enough with knives too, and even my magic know-how isn't too shabby.
What a load of guff. If you were good at magic, you wouldn't be stuck in here now, would you?
Don't you listen to him, Chief. He'd find fault with the Queen herself. I'll be useful to have in battle, and I'll sell whatever you want at a reasonable price. It's your lucky day. You won't meet another gem like me in Canabras.
I can't help you while you're chained up here. How can I free you?
That's easy. You know Irabeth? Feisty-looking gal, always wears armor. You can't miss her. She's the meanest fighter in the whole city. When you see her, put in a good word for me, will ya? Tell her there's this guy, Woljif, locked up for no good reason in the Defender's Heart. Well, for the follies of his youth. And he really wants to get out on bail so he can keep up his good behavior and make a contribution to society. You got that? Will you do it?
All right, I'll talk to Irabeth about your situation. I need to think about it.
Well, think fast. I'm already losing feeling in my legs sitting here.
Wolf's tail bats the floor in agitation. Well, think fast. Okay.
I knew I could count on you. Knew it the moment I laid eyes on you.
I thought it over. I'll help you and I'll talk to Irabeth. We'll talk later. All right, we got a thief languishing in the
Wherever my
Defender's
legs
Heart.
carry me.
And more loot.
Where he deserves to stay, the evil master.
So, you know, in your playthrough, like, have you found like a great diversity in terms of characters? Because you're playing a role-playing a paladin, so I'm assuming you're looking for good companions like Irabeth to sort of fill out your party roster. Do you got like a fairly broad selection of?
I definitely do. I'm going for more of the redeemer type, so I'm trying to find the evil people and turn them good.
Backwards.
Ah, okay.
Sort of thing, like everyone has a chance until it decides that I don't give them that chance.
Got you. So like One Dog, for example, that's an evil character. Yep. Got you. Very cool.
Pure evil ones, I ignore them or not help them very much. The other ones that are on the fence or we'll call it bad situations. Maybe had no choice and had to make some bad choices or didn't have choices to make. Along that type of character line is how I've decided to play this one.
So cool.
Whereas, and the means justify the ends. I will group up with the devil himself if it lets me complete my task.
Gotcha. I love the thought that you're putting into your playthrough and sort of creating your own unique story for your character there. Okay.
Well, they've given us the tools to do so, so I thought, why not use the game's engine and it's how many NPCs are in there and everything. Like the benefit of following it from Kickstarter and being on the Discord channel and just reading up different things.
I hear you.
It's always been cool.
So a couple of things that I was not able to accomplish in the maze. I wasn't able to solve the puzzle or defeat the water elemental.
I couldn't defeat the water elemental either.
Did you manage to get through the puzzle?
I solved the puzzle.
Without the help of guides or walkthroughs?
Correct.
Oh, you're brilliant. How did you do it? I had no idea. Like, I had nothing to hang on to figure out what...
17 hours.
Oh my god. A young man in a well-worn traveling clothes and a simple wooden symbol of Rastil on his chest is efficiently cutting a linen robe into strips to use as bandages. Despite his visible exhaustion, he works with zeal, singing some tune about red braids and ripe sheaves of wheat under his breath. He raises his warm, chestnut-colored eyes to you. Are you one of the Crusaders? Thank you for defending those of us whose talents lie off the battlefield. I am Jurgano, servant of Erastil. Pleased to meet you. What are you doing here? I only took my holy orders recently, so my god has only bestowed a little of his power upon me as yet. I am sorry to say that the number of wounded fighters in this tavern is far beyond my power to heal. But there's a reason people say, have faith in the gods, but look to yourself first. I might not be able to help the wounded with magic, but I can at least cut up bandages. Are you from around here? No, I was just passing through Canabris. I was sailing down that old man of ours, the Great Silen River, to a village by the name of Chili Creek. I happened to land the city on the eve of the festival, and I'm ashamed to say I decided to stay for a day or two to enjoy myself. But I ended up staying in the city longer than I'd bargained for. Chili Creek, where is that? It's a small fishing village. It's not even marked on some maps, but people do live there. What they don't have is a priest. They have no one to heal their wounds, no one to offer prayers for a good catch, no one to give their dead a dignified burial. The world wound is a stone throw away, so I'll be setting sail for Chili Creek to serve my god and my people. Once we've held Canabris, I'll be going there, if by the grace of the good gods we all survive this. You should come visit me sometime. You'll find the village here on the bank of the river. The priest marks the Chili Creek on your map. Alright. Aren't you a young and experienced cleric afraid to go to the border of the world wound? I won't lie, I am afraid, but what can I do? These villagers are simple people. Every day of their short lives is spent doing hard, honest work. That's exactly the kind of life I want. Something simple, but meaningful. I've had centuries ahead of me like elves do. If I had centuries ahead of me like elves do, I might have spared some 50 years or so to travel around the world. The young man says with a smile. Or maybe even 100. Why not? But I don't have time to spare, so I want to spend my short life in the place where I'm needed most, even if it's dangerous. Especially if it's dangerous. I could use the help of a cleric. Jirnoa makes a helpless gesture. Arastiel knows I'd be glad to help you. But it's no use. My spells are depleted, and I have no training in potions or scrolls. See this robe I'm cutting up for bandages? It's the second to last one. Okay, I have to go. Oops. May Arastiel watch over you. Arastiel, also known as Old Deadeye and the Stag God, is one of the oldest human gods still worshipped in the Inner Sea region. It is concerned with family, farming, hunting, and trade. During the Age of Creation, Arastiel was among the gods who battled Ravogug when he sought to destroy Galarian, and who were eventually able to contain him in the dead vault at the planet's core. His religion dates back to before the Age of Darkness, when small farming communities and hunter-gatherers prayed to him for bountiful harvests and successful hunts. Legends claim that it was Old Deadeye himself who crafted the first bow and gifted it to humans to overcome the challenges of the world. Even as the accomplishments of civilization mount, Arastiel continues to embrace and represent the simpler pleasures of life has to offer. Yeah, I'm doing a really sort of what I like to call a completionist playthrough, TJ. So
I am a completionist. Why do you think it took me 17 hours?
Yeah, true. Yeah, that is a very good point. But I do like stopping and smell the flowers. If you rush through a game like this, you basically are not playing the game, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's all about the lore.
I enjoy it. There's so much there. I'm just trying to stick to the character concept I attempted came up with, but it's still a game. Just because I know I can make a different character.
Right.
And try different answers.
Yeah, it's wonderful that way. I'm discovering a whole bunch of people here. Cato. I believe that help is already on the way. The queen will not leave us to die. Visality Rathimus. Stout man with a fuzzy beard mumbles a prayer. He looks tired as anyone else in the tavern, but determination stamped on his haggard face. What can I do for you? Who are you? Vasali Rathimus, rector of the local temple of Abadar. The temple is gone, though, and if we snooze here for much longer, the city will be lost as well. Who's that boy with you? This one? Kaido, the shepherd, my apprentice. He's a smart boy, and his faith is strong. He serves Arastiel, though, but there's still something he can learn from an old servant of Abadar. He'll be a great cleric when he gets older. What kind of help can I expect from you? First, I sell scrolls, and I have a lot of them. Something for every emergency. Second, while you're here in the tavern, I can read one for you. Guaranteed, no surprises. But you'd better not go into the city without a cleric. I won't be going there myself. I'm too old, and my powers are needed here. Show me the scrolls you're selling. This is good to know. Yeah, diamond dust. Lots and lots of scrolls. Very, very good. Ah, Bone Shaker. It's got necromantic skulls. Vampiric touch as well. Oh, perfect. Perfect, perfect. I'm going to do a bit of shopping for sure. Grab some of those necromantic scrolls from our necromantic character. Let's talk to Wendog. Wendog's tense stance reveals her constant vigilance. Her eyes are focused and resolute. Noticing you, she lets you speak first, bowing respectfully. Master, I am at your service. Hey, Usanagi. Hey, DM, how are you? You've been playing this game. You've been busy playing this game. I'm watching on YouTube today. Have fun. Hey, Usanagi. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm here with my good friend TJ, otherwise known as Travis, otherwise known as Hanzo, and we're just kind of hanging out, enjoying Pathfinder together. He's got his own Let's Play going offline. I wonder, man, one day will we have a TJ YouTube channel for your gaming time, or is that not in the cards for you?
Probably not at this time, just because the effort it takes to go into it. My daughter's doing it, so she has a Twitch channel and does YouTube. So.
What? That's cool. Okay.
Yeah.
So your daughter's holding up the content creation in the family for you.
Yeah. Yeah. She does lots of Call of Duty.
Oh, so you guys share that in common. Wonderful.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, it's always fun when, they're either being shot by a girl or an old man, as they call me. Because I'm over 40.
Hey,
so I don't know how to game.
Right there with you, brother. Can I ask who's more skilled at Call of Duty, you or her?
Me.
She might not enjoy hearing that from you.
Oh, I guess it depends on what aspects of the game.
Got you.
Because I've played many first-person shooters before, for lack of a better phrase on that one there, I am more skilled on keyboard and mouse than she is by far.
I see.
But she's
using a gamepad?
Yeah. She's on a PS5.
Usanagi says, I watch full screen, I can see more, and he says, have fun, guys. Thanks so much, Usanagi. It's always good times with you, Morn, and TJ in the chat. Yeah. I want to know more about you, Wendog. The underground warrior looks flattered, raising her chin proudly. You can ask me anything, Master. What do you think of life on the surface? Wendog scoffs arrogantly. Life among the unbladders, you mean? Your customs are strange. The hunter casts a glance at you and corrects herself quickly. I mean, theirs, not yours, Master. You are strong and clever. But I look at other uplanders and wonder. Have you seen how proud they are of their weaknesses? Look, my hands are so soft. I've never done anything with them in my entire life, because noble blood runs through my veins. What does it matter who someone's parents are? I am the daughter of a former chief of the tribe. So what? Is that what they respect and fear me for? Saul became the chief because he was old, experienced, and smart. After him, I might become the chief because I'm strong and even smarter. But these weaklings wouldn't have lasted a day in our caves. Morn gives emoji with shades.
Oh, nice shot.
Wendog's eyes narrow wearily. Everything is strange here, but it's all right, Master. We'll put things right, won't we? Tell me about your life in the caves. Life was better than an uplander might think. You're surrounded by rock on all sides. It's sturdy, dependable, and when you hide in a crack, you know you're safe ashore. Not like here. All this empty space around you. You always have to be on your guard, in case an arrow flies from any direction and hits you. Life underground is calmer somehow. Sure, there's less food in the caves than here, but the amount of food the uplanders have is too much. Don't you see, Master? How many fat uplanders there are? Why don't they eat so much? Like cattle fattened up to make for tastier meat. We only had one fat person in our tribe, and that was Saul. He was only fat because he was old. But up here, everything just seems fair in the caves. When there isn't enough food for the weak, they die. The lazy die, the sick in the head and the body die. Only the strong and the skilled survive, and the blood becomes thicker, tougher. What happened between you and Lan? I love Wendog as a character, so wonderfully written. Wendog shrugs disdainfully. He's a good hunter, but not too clever. Bit of an idiot, really. He was the strongest in the tribe after me, that's why I kept him close. His heart is soft, unlike his body. The hunter smiled shamelessly. But then I met you, and I didn't need land anymore. Now, I only want to hunt with you. I can tell you're proud of your strength. Windog throws her shoulders back proudly. Of course, let everyone see who is standing before them. The weak must obey the strong if they don't want to be reminded of their place. Even when I was a snot-nosed little cave rat, I could bring neithers twice my age to heal. Because I fear nothing and no one, pain least of all. I was showered with praise and compliments. The best hunters of the other tribes wanted me. But what did that matter to me? The moment you start listening to flattery is the moment you get soft and you die. No, I always push myself further, challenging myself, taking myself to the very edge. Many times I almost died. I always came back stronger. I learned all my strength on my own. And if anyone didn't respect that, I just grabbed my knife. That's why I became the best hunter in the tribe. On the surface, you people are called mongrels, but I take it you don't like that term? The hunter shrugs her shoulders. Let the uplanders call us whatever they want. It doesn't matter. I know what they're trying to do by giving us that stupid nickname. They're asserting their status of superiority over us. But it's normal to try and dominate the stranger you've just met. That's expected. When my kin conquered the lands of the surface, people will call us by whatever name we choose. Why do you serve me? Windog gives you a bland smile. Because you are winning, and I want to be with the winner. I don't like sharing food and fire with weaklings. I prefer people like you. And also because being close to you is a good way to live. I love life. I'm young and strong. It makes sense to eat, drink, screw, and kill enemies while you're young. Not when you're 30,000 gongs old and shriveled up like Sol. So as long as I'm your servant, I can have fun as I like and order around anyone I want. Who will dare defy me? No one. Her eyes are half closed in smug satisfaction. Kill for me and you'll get everything you've been dreaming of. Windog shoots you a feral grin. It's good we understand each other, master. As we neither say, we hunt in the same cave. Alright. Everything is clear to me now. Let's talk about you serving Hosilla. Uncertainty sparks in Windog's eyes, and she curls her spider legs on her back, closer to her body. Of course, master. But now I only serve you. Has someone said something about me? What did you do for the demons? I brought my kin to their lair so they could join the demon army and accept the power given to them. I made my tribe stronger. Later, once we no longer needed the demons, my powerful kin would have fought for me. The hunter shoots you a grim and bloodthirsty grin. Aren't you ashamed of betraying your kin? Windog replies respectfully but defiantly. I know that Sol would have called me a traitor, but for one reason only. You grew old and cowardly. I accepted the same fate as my fellow tribesmen. I ate the flesh too, and for many gongs I thrashed with fever, growling like an animal, lunging at anyone and everyone, my body burning from the inside. But I handled it because I was the strongest of them all. Not a single day have I regretted the power I gained, and that's why I'm not ashamed of sharing that power with my tribe. Why did you decide to switch allegiance? I was only serving the demons because they promised me power, and only for as long as they had something to offer. Windog chuckles, revealing her sharp teeth. But Hosilla can't offer me anything now she's dead, and I was never going to risk my life for her. You are a true leader, one worth following, Dr. says in a fawning tone. There's something I don't trust about this person. How can I trust you? Windog's voice gains a fervent edge. Why would I betray you, master? You are the strongest. It'd be stupid to defect to your enemies and die along with them. No, I'm not that dumb. Not very convincing. You promised me an army of mongrels. Windog narrows her cat-like eyes. And I will give you one, master. But first we have to rebuff the attack on the city. Sol has spent his entire life preparing for the underground crusaders' return to the surface. And he's not going to take any risks. He will order the tribe to hide in the caves like rats. And he will decide whether they are strong enough to fight side by side with us. Maybe he will decide that it's better to sit this one out and wait for another chance to come along. We have to fend off the demons, win a glorious victory, and show Sol that ours is not a lost cause. Then he will give us his warriors. And then it will be my job to turn them into real soldiers. Alright. That's it for now. That is good old Wendog. Indara here. An imposing young Ord is surrounded by a crowd of crusaders who are hanging on her every word. I hope this example clearly illustrates the difference between Jitska legionnaires in the last war and the crusaders. The perfection of form and spirit they were imbued with during creation turned them into parts of a well-balanced war machine, not a ragtag bunch of individuals, but a united whole. Jitska. Oh my god, that's a long bit of lore. Alright, let's dive into it. The Jitska Imperium was the first human kingdom to establish itself in the Inner Sea region after the centuries of darkness and devastation caused by Earthfall. Its citizens spoke a nearly forgotten language called Jitska, whose alphabet became the basis of the alphabets of the modern languages of Skald, Horacian, and Teldin. At its height, it dominated all of the northwestern Garund and also parts of southwestern Avestan. Raids of desert nomads and attacks by powerful outsiders from minus 3,300 onward, and the lack of a strong eastern trade route led to the slow decline of Jitska. Saurian, then a burgeoning kingdom under the control of the powerful pharaoh of Forgotten Plagues, pushed westward. It overthrew the already weakened Jitska, and the Imperium was plunged into numerous succession wars around minus 2,764, from which it was never able to regain its former political, military, and economic power. Because of this military and economic defeat, the important cultural, magical, and technological advances of the Jitska Imperium were largely lost and forgotten. Now tell me again why I'm supposed to be impressed by your reckless assaults, where everyone is fighting for their ego and for the right to beat their peers to a swift but pointless heroic sacrifice, says Indra. Some of the Crusaders grumble unhappily, but it is clear they are captivated by the woman's words. The only exception is a scraggly and disheveled halfling monk whose puffy black eye gives him away as a brawler and troublemaker. He enthusiastically pushes forward, tries to engage, but one of his friends swiftly jabs him in the back with an elbow, making the poor fellow pause to catch his breath. Quietly listen to the discussion. One of the Crusaders angrily curls his fist tightly and retorts with a burst of passion. If those gists of yours, whatever, had come for us, we'd have their guts for garters. You think we've never fought a mighty adversary before? The soldier's stern facade cannot fully conceal his relish. He clearly plans to enjoy this confrontation. The Crusaders look upon their exotic opponent with a mixture of irritation and piqued interest. The woman chuckles before cutting off her interlocutor. I would love to see you storm a 60-foot tall walking castle shaped like a gigantic elephant that carries siege fortifications on its back. And I'll have you know, these fortifications were defended by Jitskin priest craftsmen armed with the demon-bound war machines. Wow. That's quite a picture, TJ.
It is different.
A little different.
Shaped like a gigantic elephant.
They carry siege fortifications, my gosh. How over the top. Demon-bound war machines. Indara says they use the enemies you cannot defeat as mindless weapons. The woman gives the people around her a triumphant look and adjusts her hair with pointed nonchalance. Her voice takes on a lecturer's tone. You should not argue with someone who happens to be the most authoritative researcher on the history of warfare 3,000 years before the foundation of Absalom. For more than 4,000 years, Absalom has been the city at the center of the world, a metropolis-sized showcase of the greatest treasures in all Golarion. The city not only holds a key strategic position for both commercial and military endeavors in the region, but encompasses the site of the ascension of 4 deities and claims to have been found by none other than the last Aslanti, the god Aroden. The woman looks at you and flashes an amused smile. The lecture is over. Do my esteemed listeners have any questions? Who are you? I am Andara, a warrior, magus, and scholar of classical warfare from Garund. The woman peers at you apprehensively, then sighs. I admit that I am mildly offended by the fact that my name is entirely unfamiliar to you, but I'm willing to accept that this is due to Avestan's isolation from the sophisticated culture of the world at large. Garund. Garund is the continent founded south of Avistan, across the Inner Sea and west of Kasmoran, from which it is separated by the Ubari Ocean. All these names that mean nothing to me. During the late Age of Anguish and Age of Destiny, Central Garan was the heart of civilization in the hemisphere, and this legacy of arcane discovery remains even today in the nations of Orsirian, Nex, Nantabu, and Holmog. Beyond these bastions of civilization, Garan is overrun by dangerous wilds, from expansive deserts to impenetrable jungles. And Avastan. Avastan is a continent in the world of Galarian, one of the most densely populated areas on the planet. Avastan possesses as many varied cultures and environments as any other continent in the world, and an ancient history stretching back tens of thousands of years. Barovi, the River Kingdoms, Numeria, and the Stolen Lands are all situated on Avastan. You've come a long way to be here. I like to think of myself as an inhabitant of Galarian, and I don't narrowly identify with any country in particular, says Endara. Why did you come here? To witness a legendary war, the confrontation between denizens of a plain famous for its love of violence, and the crusaders from every continent, united by the common goal of defending their home. An epic struggle of colossal proportions. That hasn't been particularly epic so far, truth be told. Pink Eye. The monk with a black eye grins and mutters under his breath. Maybe she just can't see it from here. The view
There's medicine for that guy.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't resist. It's a pink eye.
Well said. The view will get way more epic if she stops hiding among us and takes a walk outside. He probably needs to see her cleric about that. Indara, the woman, smirks contemptuously. She does not deem the monk's words worthy of comment. Aren't you the insolent one? Let's see. I won't comment on that. Indara says, hardly surprising. I presented my take on this war in a clear and succinct manner. There's nothing to argue about. What is that last war you mentioned? The last war of Jitska, of course, a large-scale conflict that took place 3,000 years before the foundation of Absalom. It was a war against the Osarian pharaoh of forgotten plagues. The war that ended the legendary Jitska Imperium. An epic struggle that became the most vibrant page in military history. Alas, all conflicts that followed it were but a pale shadow, including the one that I'm witnessing here. What an annoying person. Osarian, one of the first civilizations to rise in the wake of Earthfall. Osarian is one of the greatest empires in the history of Galarian, a nation of great knowledge, wealth, and power. This ancient land harbors pyramids, mummies, terrible curses, and endless sand, as well as the cultures steeped in proud traditions, devout respect for the gods, dedication to communal service, and unswerving devotion to its rulers. Osarian today is just emerging from millennia of Kelashite rule and regaining the legacy of the pharaohs supplanted by their foreign oppressors. Why did you find the last war of Jitska so inspiring? Imagine legions of golems imbued with exoplanar spirits marching to battle. Imagine flying cities that swoop out of the clouds like terrifying monstrous birds of prey to drop forces on top of enemy castles. Picture gigantic mechanisms powered by captive and very angry demons and devils. Imagine standing in the warpath of walking citadels, or having to cover your ears to block out the sound of cannons loaded with shrieking elementals. Finally, imagine the ultimate weapon that defeated Jitska, the deadly night plague. This affliction was an attack dog, a trained epidemic, a tame pestilence striking only those who its masters wanted to kill. Imagine all these terrors and understand that no flight of fancy can even come close to the horrors of the nightmares they made real. How do you know so much about Jitska's last war? I can say without false modesty that there is no more authoritative researcher on Galarian when it comes to the history of warfare 3,000 years before the foundation of Absalom. I've dedicated my whole life to this subject. I've personally visited old battlefields and studied the most mysterious and forbidden archives containing chronicles of ancient wars, sometimes risking my life in the process. I saw a fallen sky city of the Shori Empire with my own eyes. I ripped out the control crystal from the exterminator-class combat golem that guarded a Jitska lavatory with my own hands. These fingers held the glass flask that the servants of the Pharaoh of the Forgotten Plagues used to create the first generation of pestilence that devastated the Jitska Imperium. How do I know so much? I saw and touched everything I'm telling you about. Alright. Why don't you join the Crusaders and show them how fighting should be done? No, I'm a historian, an analyst, a theorist. Do you know what these three words have in common? They all describe a mortal woman who does not participate in the conflict upon which her thesis will be founded. But then again, I will hardly be able to describe this mess as anything other than a feeble likeness of the last war. Jitska. The monk with the damaged eye grins slyly and comments, the more dangerous the upcoming scuffle is, the more motivated we are to find clever and pretty words to justify not actually doing the fighting. I don't have time for idle chit-chat. It's not like bickering in a dirty tavern was the height of my aspirations. Alright.
What's in wait for me there, I wonder?
We got Sela here. Sela smiles at you warmly. Hey there. During that march through the dungeon, we never got the chance to exchange a proper greeting. It's high time I shake your hand. And for those of you listening and watching, I know this is very little action, but once again, TJ would understand this. You can't really understand the value of what you're doing unless you know who you're fighting with or what you're fighting for. And the only way you can do that in an RPG is by reading. I'd like to know more about you. Of course, ask anything. I'll answer honestly. Tell me about yourself. Where are you from? I'm a little bit from Geb, a little bit from Katapesh, but mostly from the Knights of Iomedae. I was accepted and began my training at 14. I belonged to their ranks more than I belonged to any other place. You've come to Mende by a long road, haven't you? A very long one. Sela looks at you cheerfully. A traveler is expected to have amusing stories. Unfortunately, I have only 3 tales of any interest, and I'd like to save them for our next feast. Otherwise, I won't have anything to show for myself when it's time to start bragging. And that just won't do, especially since I'll win the night with my cautionary tale of a battle with chupacabras. Let's see. You can't tempt me with a story about fighting chupacabras and then not follow through. What are chupacabras, by the way? Incredibly repulsive magical beasts, fast and dangerous. They can... Well, it looks like someone's fooled me into starting the tale. I guess now I'll have to tell the whole story. Picture a small town in Quadre. And down in the dungeon there's 2 murderers waiting to be executed. The gallows are already built for them. The rope's been bought. But sometimes life takes a surprising turn. Suddenly, a paladin of Iomedae appears in the doorway and offers the murderers a deal. If they go with her to fight some monsters, they live. They survive, that is. Cadre. The westernmost satrapy of the Padishah Empire of Kalesh, Quadre is a kingdom that has the power of the sprawling empire at its back. Cadre is Kalesh's doorway to the inner sea region and is perhaps the single most valuable piece of real estate on Golarion. There's a big difference between imminent death and probable death with a glimmer of hope, wouldn't you say? So here we are, traveling through the desert, me and my friend, a priest of Sarene, along with the little ratfolk fellow who'd asked for our help, and the 2 cutthroats. We get to the ratfolk village, and saw their bodies lying around, all drained dry. We figured we'd have to fight the vampires. That's how the little ratfolk described the monsters who attacked their village. That's why we went in all brazen-like. The sun was high, and the vampires couldn't attack until dusk. Sarene. Known to her faithful as the Dawnflower, the Healing Light, and the Everlight, Sarene is a goddess
Nice
who
shot
teaches...
to the roof.
What's that? What
Wrong.
happened?
The wrong thing I was reading.
Oh. Gotcha.
Me.
Compassion and peace are her greatest virtues, and if enemies of the faith can be redeemed, they should be. Worship of this goddess of healing, honesty, and redemption, and the sun began to the far east of the inner sea in the vast Padishah Empire of Kalesh, but her worshippers can be now found throughout the world. Sele. We never got a chance to look around. Black shadows, quick as the wind, attacked us from all sides. Not vampires, but chupacabras. One of the lads we pulled from the gallows got killed right away. The second one ran for his life. That left me, the ratfolk, and Kyra. That was the name of the priestess. And we all steeled ourselves for the fight of our lives. And just when we thought the end had come, with the chupacabras surrounding me like a pack of dogs around a bear, and our ratfolk friend wounded and down, and the teeth of the quickest of those blasted monsters was clenched in Kyra's shoulders. Right then, when all hope was lost, the other lad from the gallows suddenly comes running back. He kills the beast attacking Kyra. I'm sure you know what a turning point in a fight looks like. Well, that was it. A moment before we were lost, and a moment later we had it back under control. Chupacabras dropped dead, one by one. The little rat folk is reunited with his family, who were hiding in the basement. The priestess and I closed the eyes of that boy from the gallows who saved us. It was a shame he didn't survive the fight. May the gods keep his soul in its journey through the afterlife. Evil, your savior was a fool. He could easily have fled. If he was a fool, I like that sort of foolishness more than cold, merciless calculation, a form of evil action. Had it not been for that mercy, Milos, that was his name, would be hanging from a noose, and me and Kyra and all the rat folk would be dead in that village. Someone told me the kind deed done by an unkind person is 100 times more precious. By the same token, evil done by a noble soul is 100 times more horrifying. That's what I really wanted to say. The Chupacabras were just a good starting point. We got a comment from Yusanagi here. He says the story is interesting. It's nice to find out more about the place and its history. Yes, I agree. I fully agree. What made you become a paladin of Iomade? Sila's gaze sharpens momentarily, then she sighs. That's a serious question and a good one. You should ask it of your companions. But it's a long story. To start with, 12 years ago, I was nothing like the person I am now. I roamed the streets of Soloka with other homeless orphans. I stole, I fought. I was a hired sword for a bit. Not the proper origin. Back then, Soloka was a city of orphans, widows, and widowers. Gnolls decimated the city regularly. My parents were among their victims. People there heard about new deaths before they'd finished mourning their previous losses. One day, a group of knights of Iomade brought a glimmer of hope to the city. But while others saw them as saviors and protectors, I was busy pricing up their noble horses and their gleaming mithril armor, wondering just how much one of those pretty swords would fetch. A thief lives one day at a time. That's what they say. I was the type that never thought past the next job. Anyhow, I was able to sneak into the knight's camp and steal one of their mithril helms. Scylla pauses, her voice sad and measured. And I was right there when a gnoll attacked the helm's owner. Asame was her name, and dealt a blow to her unprotected head. A gnoll, like all those others, she'd fiercely driven from the gates of Sulka. That one blow was fatal. But who was really to blame for her death, the gnoll attacker or the young thief named Scylla? Life is cruel and full of chaos. Sometimes survival just comes down to luck. So that's how you see it. Scylla looks at you with curiosity but no hostility. I can't accept that point of view. If the story of my youth taught me anything, it's that we're all accountable for our actions. It's too easy to wave off responsibility if you see the cruelty of life as an excuse. But you were asking what brought me to the ranks of the Iomade warriors. We all chose the paladin's path for our own reasons. Some are guided by the nobility of spirit, some by the desire to fight justice. I became who I am through penance and a debt unpaid. The day Akame died protecting my city, I wanted to kill myself for the terrible guilt I felt. But then I realized it wouldn't make the world any better. And I decided that instead I'd try to take her place. I'd become who she had been and protect the innocence that she would no longer be able to protect. What are the principles of the Paladins of Iomade? Scylla smiles. I'll tell you. I like to recite our code. It feels like I've said it 1,000 times, but it never gets old. There is strength in these words. After a pause, she begins, her voice slow and meditative. I will learn the weight of my sword. Without my heart to guide it, it is worthless. My strength is not in my sword, but in my heart. If I lose my sword, I have lost a tool. If I betray my heart, I have died. I will have faith in the inheritor. I will channel her strength through my body. I will shine in her legion, and I will not tarnish her glory through base actions. I am first into battle, and the last to leave it. I will not be taken prisoner by my free will. I will not surrender those under my command. I will never abandon a companion, though I will honor sacrifice freely given. I will guard the honor of my fellows, both thought and deed, and I will have faith in them. When in doubt, I may force my enemies to surrender, but I am responsible for their lives. I will never refuse a challenge from an equal. I will give honor toward the enemies and contempt to the rest. I will suffer death before dishonor. I'll be temperate in my actions and moderate in my behavior. I will strive to emulate in my days perfection. Thank you. I've learned everything I want to know. I hope I didn't bore you. Ask me anything else you'd like. Erebeth said that your friend Jana Aldori is missing. Do you know where we should look for her? Erebeth is worried about her fighters. I understand that. I wanted to look for Jana myself, so I didn't distract you. But since you're in this too, I could use some help. Jana and I met in Canabras a few days ago and just hit it off. We went drinking together. We went to that unforgettable celebration together too. But we got separated in the crowd. So we start looking from the main square, and that's where I last saw her. Scylla frowns. Jana's a good fighter, even if she's green. She couldn't have become an Aldori otherwise. I hope that means she's alright. What do you think of what's going on in Canabras? It's complete chaos. It's lucky we were here to handle it, right? She smiles brightly and then gives you a worried look. Does the way I talk bother you? I know I can seem blaze. Many good people in our protector, Trendle, have died here in Canabras. A paladin of Aomede is expected to be properly respectful and solemn. But I prefer to face my troubles with a smile and a bit of common sense. Grief is a weapon they'll use against you. It can undermine a warrior's spirit. It's better we hold off on grief until we've driven the last demon and cultist from the city. If we want to win, we can't be mourning our deceased day and night. Plus, joy heals the soul. It's nice when you and the commander think alike. Scylla smiles softly. Is fighting demons all you want, or are you looking for something more? How about covering myself in glory and becoming the hero of 100 ballads, or at least a dozen, if they're lively ones? Scylla's eyes shine cheerfully. Anyway, to be more serious, the area around the World Wound is the best place for a paladin who wishes to defend the weak and serve the good. Being part of the crusade is a reward enough for me. But there's something that worries me. I don't want to sound like I'm criticizing my brothers in arms, but the Eagle Watch and other orders are focused on just one aim: the war against the World Wound. That's why they can sometimes overlook the smaller things, ordinary misfortunes, you know. I always like being a wandering knight because any moment I could get up and go help a poor rat folk whose family had been kidnapped, or an old woman whose favorite dog had gone missing. So here's my answer. I don't have some big important goal, but I'll be happy to help those who need it. A little bit here and there. Alright, thank you for speaking with me. Until next time. Scylla smiles. See you. There is Erebeth herself. Let's talk to her. Erebeth rubs her red and tired eyes. Any success? How is the city? Okay. There's a tiefling chained up in Defender's Heart. What can you tell me about him? Erebeth shrugs scornfully. Woljif is a petty thief from a gang of thieflings operating in Canabras. That's what we call them in these parts. They tried to rob a vendor of magical items recently. Unfortunately, we apprehended only one of them, and the rest managed to escape. We have nowhere else to keep him apart from the Defender's Heart, but that's hardly a prison. Woljif knows it too. He's been begging us for days to let him go free or have someone voucher him. He's already asked you to put in a good word for him, hasn't he? Erebeth squints at you thoughtfully, then shrugs. If you want to recruit Woljif and put him to good use, go ahead, and take him off my guard's hands. We can ill afford to let a soldier spend their days watching over a middling thief. I hope this tiefling proves useful should you decide to take him along. What is our main objective? You heard what that demon said. They're going to desecrate the Wardstone and blow up the whole barrier around the Worldwound. That would be an even worse disaster than the Worldwound's expansion before the Second Crusade. Not only Canabras, but every city with the Wardstone will be destroyed, including the capital. We can't allow that, no matter what. We will retake it, even destroy it if we must. Amede's gift must not become a weapon of the abyss. These Wardstones, what are they? They are our greatest treasure, the shield given to us by Iomede herself, and placed in Canabras and other Mendavian cities and fortresses by her herald. The chain of Wardstones forms a protective barrier that stops the expansion of the Worldwound and keeps the demons from moving beyond its borders. I shudder to think what will happen if that barrier fails. Tell me about the Eagle Watch. It was a small order created to fight not only demons, but also the enemy within, to maintain the purity of the Paladin ranks, prevent heresy, identify spies, and it failed miserably at that. The Templars of the Ivory Labyrinth infiltrated it and formed their nest within its ranks. Pledging their lives to Bahamut, these cultists schemed to subvert the good works of the Crusaders. They caused trouble in Crusader camps, instigating fights and egging participants on to greater violence. They spread lies and sowed the seeds of fear with voices sweetened by magic. Some have even assumed the role of holy crusaders and risen in the ranks of other knightly orders, waiting for the moment when their treachery can be used to achieve a most foul end. After the Queen entrusted me with leading the order, Anavia and I practically built it from scratch. We got rid of the deadweight, people who weren't committed. We organized ways to transmit messages and orders safely. We introduced reliable ciphers. We found tacit allies around the city, from Crusader orders to street beggars. This was my personal crusade, to purge the city of the Templars who had infested it. And I thought I was winning. I could feel it. We were so close to driving the cultists out of Canavras, but... Riveth frowns. It's hard to admit, but those successes didn't count for much once the demons entered the city. A success. When we got up to the surface, there were more cultists in the city than Crusaders. What exactly was your order doing? Erebeth lowers her head. We did all we could, but it just wasn't enough. The cultists were everywhere, from the start, and the demons just razed everything to the ground despite our efforts. Let me ask a few personal questions. Frowning a little, Erebeth nods. Please, but I must warn you, there are some things I don't have the right to discuss. Where are you from? I was born in Canavras. I grew up on a farm just outside it. My way back home lay at the end of a long and winding road. It took me years of traveling through foreign lands before I came back to where I've always belonged. How did you become a paladin? A bitter smile appears in the half-orc's face. I don't much like to remember it. Believe it or not, the story of how I became a paladin is also the story of how I failed to become a knight. My parents were crusaders. May their souls stand together in Amede's celestial army. When I was born, they were retired from the war and started preparing me to continue their legacy. My father was an orc. You'd be pressed to find a calmer, wiser, and more pious servant of the goddess than he, but still, all his life he was dogged by sideways looks and whispers. When I grew older, and it was time for me to serve, I decided anywhere but Canavras. That was where my father had served loyally, and his only reward had been injustice. Besides, the witch hunters led by the Honorable Prate Herlin stalked the city with a heavy hand. Who knows what they would have done to a strange girl with green skin. Instead, I went to a smirk. It looks more like a painful grimace crosses her face. You can laugh if you want, but I was young and foolish. I chose Lastwall of all places. You can imagine how well I was accepted in the country that's been battling the orcs of Belskin since its foundation. Stalked. Alright, buckle up, people. During the First Crusade, holy warriors streamed into Mendev, where they encountered Sicorians practicing their unique druidic faith. The Crusaders mistook the wooden idols and rustic rituals for evidence of demonic influence. Groups of witch hunters emerged from the disorganized chaos of the First Crusade. These witch hunters were often self-styled, their tactics little bit more than brutal trial and error. The least bit of evidence could mark a target for investigation, a clubfoot, a thick accent, or even a suspicious absence of abnormalities. The witch hunter groups gained reputations for being cruel and arbitrary. Although these weren't always deserved, demons ranged freely across the world wound and often spilled into Mendev. Demonic possessions did happen, though not nearly as often as the witch hunters claimed. Genuine witch hunters used divination magic and cautious investigation to draw out and destroy fiends, but they were rare compared to the zealous inquisitors who burned innocents at the stake. With the advent of the Fourth Crusade, the authorities took strong measures to end the bloody witch hunts of Mendev. Since then, the frequency of hunts has dropped considerably. Belskin. While orcs can be found throughout Golarion, nowhere else are they as plentiful or live in as densely populated settlements as the hold of Belskin. Belskin is an unforgiving wasteland filled with shrub, brush, steep mountains, and uneven badlands where food is scarce and generally limited to the seasonal road. There were many there like me, but we were all treated as second-class citizens. To locals, my green skin was worse than leper scabs. Even my brothers in faith kept their distance. I took my vows, and the gods granted me the powers of Paladin. But even then, not a single order would accept me into their ranks. I spent another 6 months knocking on doors before I realized a simple truth. I serve Amadei, not these people. I don't have to prostrate myself before them. So I left, as a paladin, but not a knight. Things are bound to be tough for you too. Most common folk fear death and hate the undead, even more than they do orcs. I'm sure you're no stranger to sideway looks and whispers behind your back. Ah, so you recognize that I'm undead. Very good. How did you come to join a knightly order? I left last fall and went traveling. The goddess guided me, and my path led me to where atrocities were happening. I often fought in exchange for gold, but never for unworthy aims, of course. I wandered the river kingdoms for a few years, killing monsters and tracking down criminals. Sometimes I thought I was just wasting my time, but my true place was in Canabras. But I pushed those thoughts away. I didn't even want to think about going back, but in the end, divine providence had brought me to my senses. It happened in Taimon. I was tracking a gang of bandits, which my employer suspected was the cover for Rasmuran spies. I managed to find their lair, but inside, I found something far more dangerous than spies, an unholy temple to Zon-Kuthon. When I broke in there, the cultists were about to sacrifice someone, the person who was destined to become my wife, Anivia, but that's another story. Ramazan. The realm known as Rasmuran was once just another turbulent, violent river kingdom, the Archduchy of Melket, where leadership changed as often as the years. This ended in 4661, when the land was conquered by Rasmir, a tyrant claiming to have ascended to godhood. And Zukthon. The deity Zon-Kuthon, also known as the Midnight Lord, the Dark Prince, and the Prince of Pain, god of darkness, envy, loss, and pain, possesses one of the most twisted and evil minds in the great beyond. His position as a god of pain is well earned, as the god of pain, and he has been the root of countless tortures, murders, and worse throughout time. He was once a benevolent demigod named Dubral, but was corrupted when he traveled to the far dark places between the plains and returned in his current form. His half-sister, Shelem, still holds out hope that she can redeem him, but the Lord of Shadows shows no sign of remorse or compassion. Irabeth. After I cut down the cultists, I examined their papers and couldn't believe my eyes. A network of evil cults had spread through all of Avistan, including Mendev. Worse, the documents clearly showed that their allies, the Templars of the Ivory Labyrinth, had infested my native Canabras, and were even among the ranks of the Paladins. After that, delaying my homecoming would be tantamount to desertion. Luckily, I was no longer alone, and Avia was as eager to destroy the cultists as I was. And even I hurried to Canabras. We couldn't trust anyone. The papers indicated that the cultists had infiltrated everything. Luckily, I had some experience in investigation, and my beloved, the half-orc smiles warmly, she knows her way around working locks, tailing people, and trading information with the city's bottom feeders. Soon we defeated, alas, not the whole Hydra, but a few of its heads. Do you know who turned out to be the leader of the cultists? The commander of the Eagle Watch.
I'm going to say enjoy your afternoon.
Hey, TJ, thank you so much for joining me, and please don't forget to send me a message on Discord about your Steam ID. I'll look you up.
I'm going to do that right now, actually.
Awesome. Take care, man.
Take care.
Can you imagine? While Prelate Herlin was chasing witches through the city, the enemy had infiltrated the very order responsible for internal security. The scandal reached the ears of the Queen. At first she planned to disband the order in disgrace, but then she offered its command to me, and to put its salvation in my hands. Of course, there was one small catch. I wasn't a knight, but I was made commander just the same, skipping the usual progression through the ranks. Lore religion. I can't imagine the followers of Zon-Kuthon an alliance of demon worshippers. Shouldn't they hate each other? They should. The Baphomet's minions are masters of deception. They manipulate Zon-Kuthon's butchers as eagerly as Amadei's knights. The cultists from that unholy temple didn't know the true faces of their associates in Canabras. We learned the truth much later, after getting to the bottom of their nest. How did the people of Canabras feel about your background? They tolerated it surprisingly well. I shouldn't have been so wary. Crusaders don't tend to be Prejudice is a rule. After all, heroes from all over the world, even from other continents, come here to fight the demons. Apparently the people were only suspicious of full-blooded orcs. There were already many like me here, and we don't have any problems. Though the locals do have their superstitions, Mendev is as merciless as Lastwall. They just have a different set of victims. I kept seeing those same sideways looks and scowls, hearing the familiar whispers. But where they once used to whisper behind my back and point at me, now they whisper in my ear and point at someone else. It's so strange to be on the other side of humiliation, to wipe the spit from your face, and suddenly be invited to change position and spit at someone else. You must have figured out by now that I'm talking about tieflings. It's true, there are many of them among the cultists, and a few among our crusaders, and our fighters do all they can to drive away those who would be our allies. People shun them, call them Aralu's spawn or worse, if they choose to be born like that. I believe it's quite a feat to rise against the call of one's blood and join the forces of good. Still, most only see them as the enemy. I once saw a knight bleeding to death because he wouldn't let a tiefling priest touch his wound. Alas, I haven't been able to change this in all my time in Canabras. Tell me about Anavia. We met in Taimon. I was wandering aimlessly from one ordeal to another. We returned to Canabras together to expose the Templars of the Ivory Labyrinth. The day the Queen knighted me was the second happiest day of my life. The first was the day of our wedding. But Anavia isn't just my beloved. She's my staunchest ally. We share every victory and defeat. The best of me is alive thanks to her. Thank you for saving her back then, the day Canabras fell. For her return, the only thing giving me the strength to protect the defender's heart was hope that I'd see her again. We're in your debt. Thank you for your answers. Irabeth nods without saying a word. I have to go. Go, may Ayamade keep you safe. Alright, I need to have a little drink here. I'm thirsty. Alright. We're not going to read this book.
This way.
Okay, on we go. We are looking for the retrainer if possible. We got Staunton Vaughn here. The dwarf resembles an abandoned citadel, one whose high crumbling walls are still holding fast, but whose empty lightless windows make it clear that all inside is dead. Oh, it's you. Good work back there in the great garrison. Name Staunton Vane. If you heard rumors about me, his face, which looks like it has never seen anything as carefree as a smile, grimaces. Just so you know, everything people say about me is true. I need to talk to the elf who calls himself the Storyteller. Do you know where I can find him? Storyteller? Staunton strokes his beard in thought. Strange old fellow, that one. He used to sit with me for hours asking about all sorts of things. He never offered judgment or comfort. He just listened. At first I wanted him and his questions as far away from me as possible. But later I realized that talking to him did ease my burden a little. I hope he's alive and well. He's completely blind and feeble too. So if he was alone in the city, well, you probably know what that means. I do know one place he might be. Look for him in the Blackwing. It's a library. Here, I'll show you where it is in the map. I don't know what use a library is to a blind elf, but he loved the place. He would sit there day and night. What do people say about you? They say I'm a traitor, as bad as Erla Vorlesh, that I'm a disgrace, even among the ranks of the condemned. That Queen Galfrey should never have spared me, that I belong on the gallows. Aralu Vorlesh. Hardly any name arouses as much rage among crusaders as the name of Aralu Vorlesh, a Sicorian witch who initiated the opening of the world wound, and then made it expand. Almost nothing is known about her life before the atrocity, except that Aralu was condemned for using arcane magic, which was persecuted in Sicoris, and imprisoned in the Tower of the Threshold near the city of Iz. This is where Aralu conducted the ritual that paved the way for the demonic invasion, and left her land to be tormented by the demon lord Discari. In some mysterious ways, the witch transformed herself turning from a regular human into a half-demon. Over the following century, Crusaders only encountered Araloo or the results of experiments a few times, but learned nothing more from Discari's henchwoman. She holds a high position in the ranks of the Army of the Abyss and holds the title of Whirlwind Architect. And the Condemned. The Condemned is a military unit made up of petty criminals conscripted as disposable soldiers and frontline fodder in the Mendevian Crusades. Queen Galfrey. Queen Galfrey is the absolute monarch of the Crusader state of Mendev and the leader of the Mendevian Crusades. While today the name of the Crusader Queen is known throughout the Inner Sea region, it's easy to forget that Galfrey did not start her rule of Mendev as a paladin of Aimade, but rather of Aroden. When the world wound opened and forever changed Mendev, Galfrey was still an untested young ruler who was forced to deal with the death of her god while simultaneously rallying her nation against the abyssal threat to the west. She rose to the challenge, however, and her leadership was instrumental over the next several years, not only protecting Mendev from demonic invasions, but also in holding the border against the world wound. When the Church of Iomede organized the First Crusade, it joined forces with Mendev to push back the demon armies. During these battles, Galfrey time and time again distinguished herself with a keen grasp of tactics and skill and leadership. But this inspiration went both ways. In the Church of Iomede, Galfrey found something to replace her lost faith. By the time the First Crusade ended with the apparent defeat of the demon armies, Galfrey had converted and become a worshipper of Iomede, and had completely retained herself as one of the Inheritor's most devout paladins. Eager to retain such a valuable leader at the head of the Crusades, the Church of Iomede twice purchased and presented to the Queen the rare and expensive Sun Orchid elixir. Which extends mortal life beyond its usual span. Thanks to this boon, the Queen has lived and led the Crusaders for more than a century. Why do they hate you so much? Staunton Vaughn, you really don't know? Staunton gives you a long, morose look, then sighs. I am the reason why the Crusades are holed up in fortresses on the edge of the world wound, instead of bringing the fight to the demons. We used to have a foothold in the wound, the mighty, unassailable city of Dresden. We used to have it until it fell, and all because of my stupidity. I gave the enemy our main citadel. Founded as a city fortress during the hubris of the First Mendevian Crusade, Dresden was overtaken by demonic hordes of the world wound. Right, and now stands as a demonic monument to the foolish naivety of the early Crusaders. I was tried. They wanted to execute me, and rightly so, but the Queen intervened. She said that I should live and fight in order to undo what I had done. So that's how I lived, decade after decade, fighting in the Condemned. The dwarf shrugs. As you can see, I have fixed nothing, and I have earned no one's forgiveness. Are you going to spit in my face too? It wouldn't surprise me. Evil. Spit in Staunton's face. The dwarf casually wipes his face. He looks at you calmly, though, as though nothing had happened. I'm such a terrible man. All city fell because of you? How is that possible? What do you mean, how? Knight glares at you from beneath his furrowed brows. If you don't trust the word of a condemned, go ask somebody else, like my brother Joran. If you still don't believe me, what's it to me? But if you're about to ask me to recount the story of my disgrace for the 1000th time, don't. Really don't have any friends? I couldn't survive this long if I was completely alone. Joran, my little brother, keeps me going. He's never abandoned me. Everyone else shies away from me like they might catch what I've got. Even the fighters in the Condemned console themselves by thinking, I got stripped of my rank, but at least I'm not stopped. Commander Tirabade seems to be the only person in the whole army who remembers that I am a soldier, not a drudge. She has no qualms about taking me into battle. She's had some mud flung at her in the past, or so I hear. That's why she tries to keep an open mind about people. It's no surprise that she's the one to hold on to her sense of reason in this farce. So many years in the Condemned. Surely you've paid your penance by now. That's not up to me to decide. My life is in the Queen's hands. He falls silent for a moment, and then in a trembling voice he adds, The Condemned isn't the worst part. All these years I prayed to Torog for forgiveness. Countless times I've gone to his priests. Countless times I've kneeled before his altar. If only the Father of Dwarvenkind would answer my prayers just once. Not to restore what I've lost, but just to tell me that I'm still one of his children. but it seems he doesn't give a damn about me. What can I expect from mere mortals when my god doesn't think I deserve redemption? Torog, also known as the Father of Creation, is a stoic and serious dwarven god of the forge, protection, and strategy, who values honor, planning, and well-made steel. He is often a distant deity, lending magical power to his clerics, but leaving his followers to make their own way through life, knowing that this will make them strong and determined. I have to go. Go on then, and we will see each other again. Alright, we got Camilla here too. The neat smile on Camilla's lips disappeared so quickly you almost wonder if she imagined it. Your speech tells me you are of noble birth. Camilla laughs her practiced musical laugh as she watches you from under lowered lashes. You're more insightful, a fine quality to have. You're most insightful, a fine quality to have. Camilla's laughter ends, and unspoken words hang in silence. There's nothing wrong with being a noble. People are not born equal. I wouldn't have pegged you as a philosopher, says Camilla. I have to go, we'll talk later. I won't keep you. The dawning smile on Camilla's face freezes and quickly dies away. Alright, let's go ahead and free, what's-his-face. I don't want to go outside, I want to go downstairs to the basement. Let's go talk to Woljif here.
Well, Chief, what do you got for me?
Woljif is sitting in the same place with his tail impatiently batting the floor. I talked to Erebeth and I decided to make you part of my troop. We'll see how it goes.
You must be a smooth talker. Come on, Delvin. Get these bracelets of yours off me. I'm going free.
Woljif leaps to his feet and gleefully rubs his hands.
You're sure to regret this. This tiefling will fleece you for everything you've got. Mark my words.
All right.
You're a bitter little man, Delvin. Petty and mean. You can't even be happy for me, can you? I pity you. I'll leave you alone with your sad little soul. So long. And now, Chief, straight down to business. You see, I'm one of those guys that people around here call thieflings. We just call ourselves the family. After we knocked over that shop and I got stuck here in the Defender's Heart, a little bird told me that Big Sister Charisme wanted to see me. That she had some questions to ask me. You following?
Woljif is freed from his shackles and rubs his chafed wrists. He glances around, making sure that no one is listening in.
Now, she won't be asking me questions like, Woljif, how'd you manage to get out of this one? Or, Woljif, you're so thin, didn't they feed you? No, something serious has gone down, and I just know they want to try to pin something on me. I can feel it in my tail. So, I knew right away that I couldn't go alone. You turned up just in time, Chief. You don't need to do anything when we get there. Just stand behind me and look mean, and I'll handle the rest. Somehow. Let's go, I'll show you the way.
Kind of puzzle, huh? Alright, well, we'll just deal with that later. Alright. I got braces of armor +2. Cool. Oh, I didn't get it. Damn it. I guess right, we gotta level up the rest of our
Wherever
party.
my legs carry me.
Hilor, let's talk to Hilor. A tall, athletic man greets you. His hair is prematurely gray and shorn close to his head in a military style. He is lean and well-groomed, and a monocle twinkles coldly in his eye. The bold set of his jaws and his large but agile frame attest that here is a man who is always ready to be on the move. Greetings, I am Helor, Venture Captain of the Pathfinder Society. I am the superior officer among Pathfinders in this region of Mendev. However, the Society is running almost no operations here right now. Besides me, there are almost no Pathfinders here. Actually, I'm only stuck here because of an old feud with a demon worshipper known as the Spinner of Nightmares. I've had to work alone without the support of society, but I've made a lot of acquaintances among the local mercenaries and daring fighters. If you need any good fighters for an honest cause, talk to me. Tell me about your confrontation with the Spinner of Nightmares. It all began with a task of the Pathfinder Society. I arrived in Eurosan with my team to investigate the sudden death of famous crusader, Baron Falrun. We soon focused in on a small hospital for the wealthy, where Falrun was being treated shortly before his death. It turned out that a gang of Bahamut's cultists calling themselves the Labyrinth of the Mind had gotten a foothold in the hospital, Pathfinder Society. Pathfinder Society is a globe-spanning organization based in Absalom. The membership consists primarily of Pathfinders, adventurers who travel throughout Galarian, usually inconspicuously, and explore, delve, and otherwise experience the lesser-seen parts of the world. They send journals documenting their travels back to their venture captains, also assign them new missions and suggest new places to explore. The most exciting and illuminating of these journals are compiled in the Pathfinder Chronicles, an ongoing series of books that collect the history and mystery of Galarian for its membership and the general public. In Eurosan, the capital of the Crusader state of Mendev, Eurosan is designed first and foremost as a defensive fortification to hold back the endless demonic hordes of the Whirlwind. Eurosan is also a holy city of Amadei. Many of its notable residents are devout worshippers of Amadei, including the Queen Galfrey, the ruler of Mendev. The cruciform cathedral to Amadei is central to both Eurosan's physical structure and the defense of the city. The cathedral also draws faithful pilgrims from afar to worship at this renowned holy site. They were obsessed with twisting the minds of their victims and targeting fragile people too weak to resist. The hospital was filled with perfect victims, isolated for weeks from the outside world, completely helpless. And when they returned, they were different, almost normal. But the moment they heard a certain phrase, something dark awoke in their mind, and they transformed into servants of Bahamut, ready to lie, betray, even kill. The Labyrinth of the Mind was preparing to infiltrate all the elite circles of Mendev. But Baron Falrun stopped them. He was too loyal to his oath and too resistant to their spells. He fought for his freedom until the strain broke his heart. We opened and cleaned the city of Bahamut's pit of vipers. Their den was a cradle of sin and filth. They cast spells on each other, and their loathsome fantasies stepped real from their minds into the world. They dreamt of horrible and forbidden things, and they fought like mad. We burned the place to the ground and slaughtered everyone we could, but the leaders of the cult were able to flee, and they were set upon revenge. They abducted my daughter, Lori, who served under my command in the Pathfinder Society. They left me a note full of tart insults, mockery, and sneers. From that note, I learned the name of my enemy, the Spinner of Nightmares. A few months later, I confirmed that he was a leader of the Labyrinth of the Mind. My hunt had begun. I would get Lori back at any cost. Lori grits his teeth with bulldog determination. I want to know more about you. What exactly are you interested in? I am a common Pathfinder. There are many others like fate, and my orders brought me to this land. How did you end up here? I was working on an assignment for the Pathfinder Society, and then a demon worshipper named the Spinner of Nightmares abducted my daughter Lori. For the past 3 years, I've been trying to save her. During this time, I've become a specialist in scouting demon territory. I've even planted agents among the cultists. Truth be told, in pursuing the Spinner of Nightmares, I've been acting more on behalf of Queen Galfrey than the Pathfinder Society. It's a long story. Maybe I'll tell you the rest of it sometime. Hilfor grins, frowns grimly. This spinner of nightmares is a true spawn of the abyss. I've fought her many times, but I've never been able to seize her by the throat. Tell me about your daughter. Hiller smiled, showing his healthy white teeth. As a girl, Lori was just an angel. We lost her mother early on. She was left to follow my example, a drifter with little idea how to talk to a 10-year-old girl. But even with such questionable parenting, Lori managed to grow into a wonderful girl. Brave, smart, and beautiful, and entirely unbearable. She always argued with me about everything. When Lori was 18 and told me she was going to be a Pathfinder, all I said was, "All right." I knew there was no use to try and talk her out of it. And she was a fine Pathfinder. Hiller's fist clenched with a painful-sounding crack. I'll never forgive the Spinner of Nightmares for taking my girl from me. Tell me about the Pathfinder Society. The Pathfinder Society is a global organization that unites opportunists and adventurers of all kinds. We explore the world and uncover its secrets, travel, and sometimes face down threats. In times of trouble, the latter become our primary focus. We are driven by curiosity and desire to make the world a better place. And of course, some seek profit or hunger for glory. But in any case, it's hard work. They might send you somewhere, anywhere on a mission. Weaklings have little place in society. It's more for seasoned fighters. There are society lodges in many cities. The closest one is in Nirusan. They're each held by venture captains, lads like me. The Grand Lodge is in Absalom, the center of the world. The Decemvites sits there, the anonymous council of our leaders. I have no more questions. My companions and I need good training. I will get a great mentor from Absalom. For the first few times, he'll train your fighters free of charge. Gotcha. There we go. There's our retraining menu. Let's go ahead and save and level up the rest of our companions. There we go. Let's take a look at Wendog. So, yeah, fighter level 3. Let's go forwards here. Yeah, really much more optimized for some kind of thief-like character, really. Next. Rapid shot, deadly aim. Oops, getting a phone call here. I am very sorry about that. I had to take a quick phone call. Alright, let's go ahead and complete character creation here. And we'll also go ahead and Shaman Hunter here. Yep, class skill. Weird. Trickery there. And we got the Paladin to take care of. What her up to. Let's see. Mass skill. Mass skill. Mass skill. Next. Alright. Weapon focus. Extra lay on hands. Armor focus. This. We'll try that. Mercy for shaken. Yeah, that sounds like a good status effect. Go ahead and complete. Alright, we'll go ahead and save. And we'll talk once again to Helor on your commands training. Just experiment. So, yeah. Oh, is that how it works, right? Like right from the bottom? Back. Set. Training. Let's do you. Set. Choose a class. Knife Master. Huh. So it's a level 1 fighter. Ranger. Stormwalker, espionage expert. What is the unique things with espionage expert? Favorite enemy, favorite terrain, invasion. Some class progression, threat finding. Favorite enemy. Espionage master. Master hunter. So I can't. Let's see. Can I have a sign on? Slayer. Close that. Stygian Slayer. Okay, study target. Oh, and they get sneak attack too. Oh, interesting. Let's see. Mobility, persuasion, duelist, mobility 2, dodge, weapon, finesse, combat mobility. What do we get for duelist? Precise strike. Oh, that's interesting. Parry. Enhance mobility. Grace. This is a student of war. Know your enemy. Marshall. Sorry. Oops. Hey. Okay. Know your enemy. Huh. Not incredibly exciting, to be quite honest. Assassin? Fast progression. Sneak attack. Dory's Sword Lord. Death Strike. Cannot use an offhand weapon. Okay. Duelist once again. I think Outdoor's Sword Lord would be better. Stalwart Defender. Paladin. Arcane Trickster and Lore Master. Wendog level 1. Oh, okay, wait a second. I get it. I can actually... Here. So yeah, sorry about this, folks. I'm just getting a handle on retraining here. Wind Dog level 2. Bard. Hunter. Just trying to find something that triggers well with ranged weapons. Oh, interesting. Okay. Huh. Espionage expert, Demon Slayer. Interesting. So, Demon Slayer, enemy. Master Hunter. 10. Huh. Interesting. Fiendish Quarry. Flame Warden, Freebooter. Oh, that's interesting. Nomad. Oops. Oh, bloody hell. Oh no, it's really stuck on just vanilla fighter at level 2, am I? Bravery. Interesting. Advanced weapon training. Okay. Dirty Sword Lord. point blank shot. So what does that mean in the way of student of war? Okay. Yeah, it's kind of tough to know what to do with her, since she's got that level 1 in fighter. No, Dragon Disciple doesn't make sense. Alchemist. Fast progression. Canist. Barbarian. Bard. Let's see what else do we have here. Oh hey. Jerry Sykes says you should try World of Warcraft. That is a very fun game. Hey, Jerry. Thank you for the suggestion. Yeah, Warcraft is a great game. I should check it out at some point. Polluting Scoundrel. There's just far too much in the way of choices to be made here, which is why I am finding the retraining such agony for my character here. Hunters, Divine Warriors and Wilds. Right, okay, or rogues. This seems like the best sort of branch for right. Blazing expert. You got trap finding, huh? Oh wow. Charisma modifier here for that. Freebooter sounds tempting. Oh, that's cool. 10. Improve cord. Favorite terrain. Wisdom modifier, huh? No favorite enemies. Espionage expert. Knife Minister. Sylvan Trickster. Underground Chemist. Scald. Yeah, really tough to tell what to do with this character here. Survival of the fittest. Right. Strength 16. Dex 20. Would make a very good rogue. Summary. Woljif is an elder scoundrel, flat out, Dex 18, int, Dex 20, and 18. Really interesting what to do with a character like that. Good retraining. Characters. Well, first of all, let's once again take a look. See what we got here for Camilla. Dex 19. Wisdom 16. Con 14. Tony 18. Yeah, definitely good elder scoundrel. Which is really powerful, in fact. Let's do with Wendog. Level 3. Let's do a quick search. Wendog, multi-class. Let's look this up. Let's see. Really tough to tell what to do with her. But I'm determined to make her a successful character. Charisma 15. Alright, let's talk to him again. Maybe we can work with her first. So, Paladin. Just a plain old vanilla Paladin, huh? Fast progression. So they need to be lawful good, okay. And they get Smite Chaos. I need Persuasion and Arcane Knowledge too. Okay. And what's a Hellite Signifier? Oh, I see. They need to be lawful good or lawful evil, any lawful. What did they get? They get order, weapon armor proficiency. Gains proficiency with heavy armor. Oh, interesting. Hell Knight Signifier, okay. So we get, let's see, Order of the Chain, what is this? Order of the Pyre. Order of the Rack. Order of the Scourge. Order of the Nail. Interesting. Interesting. And what do we get? Oh, interesting. Persuasion checks. That's kind of cool. That might be good for my character, actually. So let's see. So for that, I need Persuasion 2. And it has Arcane Armor Training. Interesting. Really a lot better than Eldritch Knights. Yeah, okay. Alright. And what did these guys get? Hell Knight. Oh, very cool. That is kind of cool. Alright, and so here we are at Paladin. If we go to 10, we get a Smite Evil additional use. In that case, we're going to work our way towards Hell Knight, and for that, we're going to need. Sorry, we're going to need Persuasion 5, Arcane Knowledge 2. Okay. All right. Where's my dude? Persuasion. Next. Complete. Persuasion 5. Next. Okay, we got that there. Where else can we? What is this? This is Wisdom. What are your class skills? Arcane. Knowledge World. Athletics is not a class skill for Paladin. Really weird. Pickpocket +1. Knowledge World, Lore, Nature. Just take a look at our class skills here. Can't invest any further there. This is also a class skill. Take that up. Sure, why not? Brew potions during campaign. Camping, okay. As well. Okay. Next here, I guess. Switch tags. Class specific. There we go. Alright, so ability focus. Raging Song. Requires Bane. Okay, take that, and also take Mercy Shaken. Complete. That looks good. Now let's talk to Mr. Hellower here again. Alright. Let's do her. Oh my goodness, you're right, Morn. I was muted. My apologies. Yusanagi, how can you figure out the best choices for all during your first playthrough? It seems very tricky. I enjoyed watching you play and try to figure things out. Have fun and enjoy the rest of the session. I have to leave, but we'll be back another time. I was muted, and I was saying that I do apologize for how granular this playthrough is. It's just that I'm still figuring out the game. Obviously, maybe I could just play and make mistakes, but I don't know. I'm what's the right word for it? 16 wisdom, 19 dex. What can I do with that? Yeah, I'm kind of just stickler about trying to optimize my my party. And the only way you learn is by trying to learn, right? So I apologize for how unexciting the bulk of this playthrough has been, but hopefully things will get more action-packed as we head in here. That is the hope. Let's see. Ability. Okay, defense. Can you guys hear me now? Warn. Intelligence. We need wisdom. That's what we need. Monk. Right, that's not going to work. Arcane Trickster. War Master. Right, Metamagic. We need magic cast. Right. Spellbook selection, and then Secret. And Arcane Trickster. Arcane spell casting. Excuse me. Mystic Theurge. Morn says I hear you now. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I didn't realize that I was muted this entire time. Morn, thank you for saying something. My God. Let's see. Okay, so kind of like a shamanic caster, huh? Alright. What's this? It's weapon efficiency, light, medium, object bound. Interesting. Weapon finesse. Trickery. Courtier. Operative efficiency. Okay. Yeah, I think I am going to make you a rogue, given how you're built. Let's see. And the question is, what do we make you? I'll do scoundrel. Can't detect magic. Students of arcane magic. Rogue talent. Can he dodge? Is this it? Fey resistance. Major hexes. Oh, interesting. Grand hex. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, we could do that. we could do that. So we get the Grand Hex. We're gonna lose out on Master Strike, but I can live with that. Let's see. Death Curse. Witch Rest. Life Giver. Animal Servant. That's really cool. Yeah, we'll do that. So we're gonna invest. Where is that shaman thingy? Ooh, Bobby. There's the Shaman Spirit Hunter. Okay. Yeah. We're gonna take one more level here. Let's take one Trickery and one Stealth. So we're gonna build that up next. And we will take. Let's see, what can we take here? That's not going to last us too long. Evil Eye, Fury. Yeah, interesting. Healing. What should we take here? For an ability that's going to stay with me for some time. Master, right? Attack of opportunity, each round. That's not really big. I mean, unless you can. Actually. Maybe we can make this work as a single class character. Let's just see. Hold on 1 second. Back. What do we get in the way of spells? Tangle. Bear skin. Okay. Let's just experiment with teams. We got that. options. There is improved sneak attack. Oh wow, that's big. That is big. No, we can go rogue. Go silver trickster. In. There we go. Perception. Oh, I definitely want mobility. I guess trickery and stealth. Wisdom class skill. Trap finding. Yeah, I don't think we have to do much there. Next. Accomplish the attacker. Spellbook. Tracing through. Kill all spells. That could be really good, actually. All right. Let's go ahead and save the game. I'm just curious. Let's read the level we want. So, fighter 2. Accept. Class. Let's see what we got. Ranger Demon Slayer. That's right. I'm not want her to be able to move around. Master will take one. Yeah, that's gonna be useless. Dazzling display. What is dazzling display? Dazzling display. What is that? Let's find out the mechanics of that. Do a quick look. Oh, I see. It's tied to charisma, which isn't too great for this character. It's fortunate. Huh, okay. Just take a quick look at her stats. Accept. What are your stats? 13, okay. Good training. Okay. Accept. Spirit Hunter 2. Trickery and mobility. Yeah, that's what we want. Battle Master. Okay, complete. Rogue. We'll take Sylvan Trickster. Next. We'll take mobility. We'll take some of that. Oh yeah, perfect. Cool. That looks good. We can accomplish sneak attacker. Make up for the D6 that we lost. Let's go over here. good. I need training. What did I want to train about my main character here? Oh yeah, my alignment. That's what I want to do. That's right. Need good retraining. Right. Just like that. Wizard. Chronomancer. Right. And then Hell Knight is what we're aiming towards. Right. Where is the good old Hell Knight? There it is. I need to be lawful evil. I need to have lots of persuasion. Persuasion, perception, and knowledge world. Huh, interesting. Smite chaos. Oh. Oh, I get it. Force of will. Oh, interesting. So you're better off in some Vegas. That's interesting. All right. I'm going to be looking at what am I looking at over here? I guess, do I really want Chronomancer? No, it comes with all the good stuff from my Necromancer, so Eldritch Knight, we're just going to need martial weapons proficiency, which I guess we can pick up while we're leveling up, so we're not going to touch him. Alright, that took a while, but I'm happy with how we recreated our characters. I feel good about what we're doing. Yeah, that looks good to me. Let's hit the road.
Forwards? No, backwards. Backwards!
Let's get outside. And I don't know if you're still with me, Morn, but you're a hero for having hung on as long as you have. This place has been sanctified to protect the area around it from the corruption of the abyss. They all died, my whole troop. Right, okay, it's the same bark. I heard an army's on its way here from Murasan. They all died, my whole troop. Yep, same bark. Let's go ahead and take a look at our journal. Okay, we got a friend in need. It's a companion quest. Wow, we got lots and lots of stuff to do here. Lots of stuff. Let's take a look at our map. To the basement. Area exit. Area exit. Okay, let's take a quick look around.
Trail me.
Joran Vane. Grizzled dwarf turns a blade in his calloused hands, carefully inspecting its edge. When he sees you approaching, he sets the blade aside and greets you with a nod. When you face the city, you picked a good time to come to Canabras. As you can see, we're in sore need of warriors. Do you know everyone in Canabras by sight? Well, not everyone. but I make it my business to know the people who might need my services. The blacksmith's work isn't just at the anvil, you know. Of your kind, we only have one or two at a push. There's Gemmel, tavern keeper, great lad, even if he's not one for talking. Are you Stoughton Van's brother? Yep. Where he goes, I go. That's how we've always done it, even before the whirlwind. I forge the armor, he goes into battle and breaks it. He brings it back to me, and I repair it and make it better than before. Everything's changed since then, of course, but that part has stayed the same. How is Sutton to blame for the fall of Dresden? I've told this story so many times already. Telling it one more time won't kill me. Blacksmith sighs. Dresden was built after the First Crusade, back when it seemed like victory was ours for the taking, and the demon invasion would soon be at an end. The population of Old Sarkarus was thoroughly diminished, and many of them hoped to see their hard fighting repaid with a small plot of unclaimed land. Dresden was built on all our hopes and on Mendev's ambitions, though you're not supposed to say that out loud. What a city it was with DM Wyvern, you can't even imagine. It was built by the finest engineers from the Five King Mountains. Queen Galfrey spared no expense. Dresden was meant to be the capital of the Crusade movement and a monument to its glory and a beacon of hope for all. Glory. Heroes were drawn there to seek fame and glory, and they came from all over. The Taldur, Garand, Tianjie. I couldn't list them all. A relic known as the Sword of Valor was kept there, and the banner that had been carried into battle by Omade herself back when she was still human. That banner protected the city and kept the demons from teleporting inside its walls. As long as the banner was in its place, Dresden was invincible. So we thought. Sword of Valor. The greatest Crusader relic, the Sword of Valor, is a banner once carried to battle by Omade herself. It is both a symbol and a powerful artifact which emits an aura that blocks demon powers. However, the banner only works this way in righteous hands. Hidden from the eyes of believers, it loses its properties. Continue. But then the whirlwind suddenly expanded. The demons launched a new onslaught, and the folk started saying it was time to declare the Second Crusade. Dresden was unassailable, until one young officer was tempted by a beautiful woman. She convinced him that the banner shouldn't be hanging in the city, that its rightful place was on the battlefield. She whispered honeyed words about glory and valor, and convinced him that he could be a hero as great as Ayamade herself, and the poor fool believed her. He rounded up some of his hothead friends and carried the banner outside the city gates on an unauthorized foray. Demons slaughtered them within seconds, and for some reason the courageous ringleader was spared. The whole army teleported to Dresden. It was a bloodbath. Doran solemnly shakes his head. As you can guess, the officer was called Stoughton Van, and the woman turned out to be a demon. Not just any demon, it was Manago, that foul wretch. She's given us a lot of grief here in Canabras too. Just don't ask me what I was doing while my brother was off having trysts with that beast, and why I didn't save him from his own stupidity. This blacksmith gestures as if to ward off the inevitable reparation. Who could have guessed it would end like this? I failed my brother, that's the truth. I blame myself every day, looking at his plight. So that's the story. What do you have here? Why do you have your forge here in the tavern yard? Wherever I am, that's where my forge is. True master of any craft will always find the tools they need. I miss my old forge, of course. It's now just a pile of charred stone and metal. But I still got my hands, and that means I can work. Show me your wares. Rugged helmet. Patrician dagger. Detainer. Crossbow force. Some interesting magical weapons here. Cold iron ammunition. Okay. And let's see how long we've been playing now. 3 hours ago. Nope, it's Survivor. How did the city fall so easily? What were the bloody paladins doing? Let's go and exit. Okay, so Perfect. Accept. Morn says, so why'd you start early today? Usually you start later. That is an excellent question, Morn. The reason why I started early today was because it is Sunday, and essentially no work. And the weekends usually I'll probably get on for a stream earlier than during the weekdays when I actually have my 9-to-5 job. Okay, this is the global map of the city of Canavras. Move the visible part of the map using WASD and travel to locations discovered by hovering your mouse cursor over them and clicking the left mouse button. Some locations may not be available for travel for various reasons. As you explore the map and progress through the game, you'll discover new locations and routes. Okay. We got the Tiefling's hideout. Let's head there first. It's close to me. This journey will take 2 hours. Can we actually go into the old catacombs? No, that place is lost to us, it seems. Alright. This journey will take 2 hours. Let's go. I like the touch of moving her up. You spotted enemies. Fight. Alright, this is what we have. Giant spiders.
We will win this war.
I heed the voice of the spirits.
Let's go and cast on good old DM Wyvern. And
Ask nicely.
color spray. Grease, a perfect
I'll
caster.
prove I'm the best.
A rapid shot.
I'll rip you apart! Rely on me.
Put on our defensive shield here.
So many thoughts, so little
Cast
time.
mage armor.
I'll tear your throat out.
Okay. We'll go ahead and rush. What do we have here? We got your knife. We'll rush you too. You need to be casting large on you. Critical hit. One dog. Excellent.
Burn! Slice! Behead! Yes, behead.
Did I mess up
Blocked.
again?
Oh no. Oh no, this is not good. Team Wyvern, you gotta.
Cover me, all right?
The Inheritor, guide my blade.
Stop it. Why aren't you casting it large?
Yes.
There we go. Perfect. Jeez. Okay. And done. Alright, do we have any lootables here? We could use a cleric, quite frankly. Let's go and make a cleric, shall we? Dedicated cleric. Let's go back to Defender's Heart. Enter. Okay, let's go in. Hire us a cleric.
This way.
Entrance to Defenders. There it is. To the tavern. Alright. Let's go and hire ourselves that help we need. I need brave and experienced fighters. Whoa. Let's just go ahead and Let's see, what is this brave extreme spiders about? Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. Custom. Back. Okay, spiders. Wrath of the Righteous. Okay. Next. We need a cleric. A Devil-Bane priest. Inquisitors. Clerics. Angel, Apostle Fire. Crusader. Devil-Bane priest. Herald Collar. Priest of Balance. Oh, that sounds good. We'll go with the Priest of Balance. I want some of that negative energy. Okay. Next. Asimar. Heritage. Light Halo, Celestial Resistance. Tiefling. Fiendish Resistance. Heritage. Celestial Resistance. Okay, next. Plus 2 creation. Okay. Alright, there they go. Dwarves get bonuses to wisdom too, huh? I'm curious. Next. Plus 2, right? Constitution, Wisdom. Person points per day. That's kind of useful. Next. Oblate. Healer. Lore. Regional. Oblate will take Acolyte. Excellent. 1, 2, Acolyte, perfect. Wisdom up. Plus 5, that looks good. And let's see. That also looks good. Persuasion, definitely. And that's good. Warrior Priest. Extra channel. Sounds good. Next. Charisma, sounds good. Yep, we'll go for my Charisma just for the lore. Death Domain. This. Next. Chaotic neutral. Next.
You should have run.
We'll just quit out here just very briefly. Yeah. Okay, great. Reinforcements arrived. Excellent. Let's find a cool looking Asimar portrait for myself. That looks good. Go. Alright. Warren. Oh boy. We'll choose the. Oh wait. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, Acolyte. Right. Charisma, we don't care. Intelligence. We don't care. Does that look good? That looks good to me. Next, put in some points of persuasion and religion. That's it. Okay, we will invest in tight. Ace. Hairstyle. That looks good to me. That looks cool.
A trivial task.
The road calls me. I'll take the bait.
What's that glitter?
Let's shred them!
Sana, Tia, Malka, Sheej. So Kiedis, Rui, Linda, Wessie. Come on, give me a good name. Nadra. That's fine.
May I see your entrails, please?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and complete this. Okay. Perfect. Go ahead and complete. And spell book.
The road calls me. I'll take the bait.
Okay, just quickly. Can I change my portrait? Okay. You up. Just complete. Again. Sure, why not? Okay, new spells. Complete. And that's it. Let's go ahead and save. And I've been playing a good long while. I think I'm going to take an hour break and get back to this. So Morn, if you're still here, thank you for keeping up with me. I'm sorry that this playthrough has not been as exciting as it could be. I promise you it will get a lot better from here. And for those of you watching and listening, thank you for having joined me for my third episode of Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. I will be back this evening with more.